place to really get off to a good start. They got beat. They started off 0-2, and then they finished the Big Ten 0-3. So in between, they were pretty good at times, but just got to be tougher mentally and physically on the floor.
Let's take a look at some of the returning players, led by A.J. Guyton, a junior now. Here's his stats from last year.
You got to think that this is his premier year. You know, sometimes that sophomore year is the toughest year out of the four, and he did really well. Although right now he's a little bit in the doghouse. Hopefully you'll get to see him play tonight. I doubt if he'll start, but you know, he's had the ability to do just about anything on either end of the court, and they're having a hard time getting to play defense. So we'll just see how far he goes today.
I agree with Coach Ellenberg. I mean, obviously, he's a wonderful athlete. I would like to see him work inside a lot more. Not only get himself baskets, but he's going to pick up a lot of baskets because of his passing skills and his quickness for a lot of the other guys when he drives the middle and he really works the inside.
Luke Recker saw a lot of playing time last year as a freshman, and he's now a sophomore.
Now, I said about the sophomore year being the toughest year in many cases, and oftentimes in practice this year, it looked like Luke was falling into that trap, you know, how he was going to fill in and what his position was going to be. And, you know, when you look at toughness, he displayed that last year. And if he'll come on and really develop, his outside shot has fallen in practice. And once again, it's just a lot like Guyton. We'll see if he can go guard somebody. That's got to be really important.
William Gladness is the returning man inside. He's got a heavy weight on his shoulders.
Here's a guy that I've been impressed with as far as improvement is concerned in this first 2 weeks of practice. He's doing things that forwards and skinny guys should do. You know, last year he came in, he was predominantly a pivot man and played down inside and shot a lot of nice little hooks and so forth. But he's running the court, and he can get down and guard somebody.
I think he's a guy that he's obviously going to have to score some points. Nice to see him turn to his other shoulder right there. But he's got to learn to use his quickness, tremendous quickness inside. He's going to be playing against bigger people, use some shot fakes, get to the free throw line, get the other team in foul trouble because of his quickness.
Gladness quick to move up the floor. Now Michael Lewis, another returner. He's a junior now, passing the ball well, and, of course, shooting those free throws.
You know, he's had the best shooting touch of anybody from long range in these early practices. Now, if he can carry that on here when they turn the lights on, he'll really help us, because we've got to have some guys. So those first three guys we mentioned were predominantly the scorers, and we've got to have some other folks come in and carry the ball as far as scoring is concerned.
I totally agree with Coach. I think the way he's going to see the floor and get out there and play is by hitting the open jump shot. If he doesn't hit the open jump shot, he's the guy that teams start laying off of. He doesn't have the quickness to do a lot of driving. He's got to step up, and he's got to hit that jump shot to get his playing time.
Now it's time to check our Lowe's IU trivia question. A.J. Guyton is only the second player in IU history to record 400 points, 100 rebounds, and 100 assists in each of his first 2 seasons. Who was the first? We'll be back with the answer. Lowe's knows. Only the second player in IU history to record 400 points, 100 rebounds, and 100 assists in each of his first 2 seasons. Who was the other player? Ted Kitchell, you should know that answer.
Well, Lowe's knows. It was a great teammate of mine, Isaiah Thomas.
Very good. And I'll tell you, Scott, my boy, and I had a lot of fun with Eddie Cheever on that commercial you just saw. Eddie Cheever, of course, the winner of the 500, and a great guy. Look forward to being the Rachel sponsor here on the pregame show. All right, let's talk about some other players returning for Indiana. Let's go first with Rob Turner. Great offensive player, but didn't play as much as he wanted to last year.
Yeah, when you get into these guys, here may rest the success of our season, because you pretty well know or can suspect what can happen to the folks we just talked to. But you get a guy like Turner, who's a great athlete, who has good strength and is probably as good inside of 10 feet as he is outside. He can play inside with the big guys. If he'll come through and carry his load, that could be a great boost to this basketball team.
Well, he's a tremendous athlete. He needs to understand how important he is to this basketball team. Obviously, against Kentucky, we saw what he could do last year. He needs to do it every game.
Luke Jimenez returning. He's a junior now.
Well, Luke, with his good play last year, although not necessarily every ball game, but he got a lot of fans. You know, there are people that just love to see him come in the ball game, and I know I did too, from time to time. He can guard somebody. His dad's a coach. He came up through that type of situation to where he's learned a lot of basketball before he got here, and he'll jump up and shoot it in. He's got a little ice in his veins.
Well, I'm one of Luke Jimenez's biggest fans. I thought he did an excellent job at the end of last year. He gets on the boards, tips one in, but he's very strong defensively. He uses his body and his strength. I'd like to see him a little more aggressive on the offensive end, stepping up and taking that shot.
Good shooter from the outside, as you see in the scrimmage from Tuesday. Larry Richardson may be a guy that Gladness will look for some help inside.
Well, he's our biggest kid, maybe even the strongest, and he's got to come through like he did in that inter-squad scrimmage. You know, it's a good thing he had a number on, because I didn't recognize him the way that he played. He shot the ball in. He played it. They played really hard. And if he's going to continue that way and with that type of a game, he's going to get a lot of playing time and will really help us inside.
The last couple years he's come in, he's done an excellent job in spurts for us. Now he has to turn those spurts into entire games. I mean, he came in against Minnesota a couple years, had a great game, but he's a kid that needs to understand he's a role player. He's got to rebound, he's got to block people out, play defense for Indiana.
Those are the 7 returning players. When we come back, we'll take a look at the newcomers that Indiana has this year. We'll see here, it's 6 new players.
Well, we've got out of that group to begin with here is Hastings, who we had last year as a redshirt freshman. And of anybody here, and you got these three kids here, Odell and Guy are with Hastings, and any of those three, Hastings has got to be the one that's going to come right in and play. Now he's got the good touch. All 3 of these kids can shoot. They've all had that ability. Odell and Guy aren't quite ready yet. They both need to be pounded on a little bit more and learn a little bit what the Big Ten's about. But while Hastings not ready yet, he's the one that we got on the high burner to be able to play right away.
One of the new players also, Dane 5. He'll be featured this next group, along with freshman Kyle Hornsby and junior college transfer Lynn Washington.
Well, Hornsby hasn't been able to play because of his knee. He's coming around. I like him better than some of the guys that we got, just in what I've seen so far. But when they'll be able to turn him loose, I don't know. Washington showed up in the worst shape. He was in bad a shape as some of the people around here holding potato chip bags. But he has come on. He has come on like you can't believe in his condition-wise. He's about halfway there and is tough and strong. And then Fife, of course, I think he proved himself in this inter-squad game the other night that if he's not going to start right away, he'll be right there pretty soon.
All right, time now for today's IU Flashback, brought to you by Touchstone Energy Partners. We are Indiana's electric cooperatives, and the man that Coach Ellenberger just mentioned, Dane 5, really tore him up in the first half of that scrimmage. 19 points in the first half. Looks like he can drive. He was a quarterback on the football team. That's got to help.
You know, his brother played at Michigan. His dad's a high school coach. His dad's a former player. The kid has grown up with it, and he's had basketballs for breakfast ever since he was big enough to sit at the table. And he can come in at any level that we have and play right now. So, you know, if he's going to make mistakes and not be, I think his impact on this team will be very similar to Recker's last year.
One of the things I think he brings to the table, too, is a toughness. I think Coach Knight had mentioned he hadn't had a football player, a high school football player in a while here, and there may be a toughness to that.
This is, I think you're going to see this team is quite a bit tougher right now than last year's basketball team, which is important. If we're not any tougher, I'd rather kind of take a vacation here in the next month.
Ted, the other thing to look for, a smaller Indiana team, a lot of guards, a little more running, a little more pressure.
I would think that yeah, they would probably pressure them a lot more. You'd probably see Coach Knight running people in and out of there, trying to wear the other team's guards down. But I imagine whoever's going to get the most playing time is the guy that gets in there and can handle the basketball. Indiana had a tremendous problem with turnovers last year, especially from their guards. Coach Knight not real high on guys that cannot handle the basketball.
All right, when we come back, we'll hear from Coach Knight and his first Chalk Talk.
Australia is kind of a checklist for us. We've spent a little bit of time this morning going over what we've worked on so far defensively and also what we've worked on offensively, trying to cover the various principles of play that we try to utilize at either end of the floor. Now, thus far in all of our practice sessions, we've had coaches standing around the floor or on the floor working with teams and with players, and probably doing some of the recognition that's necessary with our defense or with our offense, with the players. Coaches get anxious and get enthusiastic out on the practice floor and say things like set up that cut or set the screen or get the block out. But now we have the first opportunity that we've had to play against somebody else where we won't have coaches around the floor. So we'll play a variety of combinations of players in today's game, just looking to see basically where we are with what we're trying to teach and trying to accomplish on the defensive end as well as on the offensive end. How well do we recognize what the other team is doing with its offense, and how well do we react to what we recognize? Offensively, do we maintain the same kinds of things that make our offense produce good scoring opportunities, good shot opportunities, or do we get careless or sloppy with our ball handling or our cutting or whatever? So this game today becomes the first of two really good check games for us, just to see where we are. Now the game's over. We can sit down and talk about, all right, we did a pretty good job with this, but we really need a lot of improvement here. And if we're going to be tough to play against, we've got to do this. And what we did there was good. That's the kind of thing we have to have there. And, of course, you sort of keep this same thing going throughout the entire course of the season, but particularly here in the beginning where you're trying to establish in the minds of the players just what it is that we have to do, whether we're on offense or defense. And then the other thing that's important to us is how well do we get back on defense, and how well do we get down on offense, the conversion game, as I've always called it. We convert from offense to defense. We convert from defense to offense. How well do we talk? How well do we communicate? There are three really big phases in the game of basketball: offense, defense, and conversion. We'll take a look at all three of them today, and we'll have an idea as to what we've been able to accomplish through these first 12 or 13 practices, and then what we have to work on going into the exhibition game with athletes in action on Wednesday, and then going right up into our opening games with Seton Hall and South Carolina. And then it's a little bit more than a checklist when you start playing at that stage of the season. So here we're trying to get our everything in order. We're trying to get an understanding of what it is that we have to do, and the things that we aren't doing well, we've got to work to improve upon. So watch with us today and see what you think of where we are.
Each Sunday on WB4, you have two chances to catch the latest from the coach on the Bob Knight Show. This season, Coach Knight speaks his mind at 10 o'clock a.m. and again at 10:30 p.m. right here on WB4 Sports. All right, Coach Ellenberger, a little time here. Ted and I have a joint question for you, all right? This is a question. Practice starts October 17th. Back in the old days when Ted and I was October 15th, we got to practice for 6 weeks with drills, one-on-one, zigzag, four corners, shell, you know, all those kind of
things you guys love.
Stuff,
you
know.
really love that,
and then
didn't you?
6 weeks into that, we got to play our first game. Now, you've been at 2 weeks. 6 weeks. 2 weeks you've been practicing, and I came to practice, not a lot of drills, and your games in 2 weeks. A big change from the way it used to be in the old days.
You guys would love this year. I mean, you would absolutely have a ball. You would have a smile on your face. You know, you'd both be All-Americans by Christmas this year, because the drills that Coach usually does in developing the team, he's had to kind of put them back on the shelf because we got to get ready to play so fast. And you can't learn to play the basketball game, especially with a bunch of new guys that we're putting into this team, by playing at half court, playing 2-on-2, 3-on-3, and developing as a result most everything we're doing, 90% of the time, is in full court stuff.
Now, I can see the explanation for that, but geez, it sure wasn't fair to us, was it?
Well, no, it wasn't fair. And just some advice to the new young players: continue to play well during the games, because if not, some of those old drills might resurface.
That could happen.
You know.
Coach, let's talk about some new guys. New guys, it seems to be the type of team where we're going to play a lot of guys. Could we wear some other teams down because we have a lot of players?
You know, you've read a lot, and I think the national magazines have knocked our inside group of players, you know, because we're skinny and we're not very tall. But there's the other end of the court on that, too. People are going to have to guard a little bit different size player than they're used to playing against and guarding. So it comes down to this: if we can get them all in shape, which the only way you can really get in shape is to play games, where we're going to have a lot of opportunity to play a lot of basketball games. If we're tougher mentally and physically than we have been the last couple of years, and I can guarantee that we're going to be that way, then we can use, and then we get some guys to score. Well, that's the whole ball of wax. We've got a basketball team.
And we may see the Hurricane back in the Hurricane Hoosiers.
Well, that's where we are right at this point, anyhow.
All right. It's going to be an interesting season. I think one you'll enjoy. Lots of up and down court action, and we'll be with you to cover most of these games. For the guys, stay with us. We'll be with the game in just a minute. We are live from Assembly Hall in Bloomington as the Indiana Hoosiers are ready to tip off the 98-99 season today against the North Melbourne Giants. Hello, everybody. John Laskowski and Ted Kitchell. An interesting mix on this year's team. 7 returning players, 7 new players. Indiana trying to find the formula to get back to the top of the Big Ten.
And I think to do that, Indiana has got to be a tougher team, tougher to play against on both the defensively and the offensive end. But also, they've got to be better defensively, taking things away from teams.
2 players who should lead them that way, A.J. Guyton and Luke Recker.
A.J. Guyton and Luke Recker were obviously the leaders last year. You can see A.J. scored 16 points a game. Luke Recker came in only as a freshman. You see he had excellent stats. These 2 guys are really going to have to be the leaders for this Indiana team.
And now let's take a look at today's fueling factors, brought to you by FastMax. If it's got to be fast, it's got to be Max.
And we talked about defense last year. Indiana 10th in the Big Ten. They've got to be stronger both physically and mentally and take things away. Rebounding, very small team. They've got to be much quicker, take advantage on the boards against the other team. And third, toughness. Must be a tougher team. Physically taking cuts away, mentally being ready to play each and every time they step on the floor. These are the things that will get Indiana back to a Big Ten championship.
And when we come back, we'll have the starting lineups for today's ball game. Lineups are brought to you by the Sagamore Health Network, caring, compassionate, and cost-effective.
The starting lineups, your guess might be as good as ours in that this is the first game for the Melbourne Giants. We're guessing that Tim Barber will start at one guard along with Antoine Howard. Luke Egan, one of their better players. For Indiana, Luke Jimenez at guard along with Dane Fife, Luke Recker, Lynn Washington at one forward, along with center William Gladman.
And we'll be back with the start of today's... The national anthem, also from Australia, has just been entertaining the crowd here, and we're ready for basketball. Quite a bit of excitement, I think, Ted, over the summer with the new players coming in. Indiana not having the kind of year they wanted last year, and as the feeling is that, yeah, we don't have the standard team, a big center, 2 forwards, some guards. It may still be hard to deal with Indiana, and lots of players can come in and out at any time.
I think that will be good. I think, you know, we've had that standard lineup the last 2 or 3 years. We haven't had a lot of success. And obviously the things that Coach Knight has really been working on in practice is just getting a team with a lot better mental approach to the basketball game, mentally walking out on the floor, knowing, the other team knowing it's going to be extremely difficult to win here in Assembly Hall or whenever playing this Indiana team. You've got to be really tough mentally, and that's the way Indiana has always been successful in the past.
Dean Visserman is the coach of these North Melbourne Giants. It's a group of Australian players ranging in age from 19 to 26 years old, so it's an older team than what the Hoosiers will be.
Looks like the Hoosiers are going to start with Washington, Jimenez, Gladness, Recker, and Fife. If you watched the pregame show, you saw that Coach Ellenberger said to A.J. a little bit in the doghouse. He's hoping that he will get a play, but he's not injured.
Indiana's newest assistant coach, a familiar face, Pat Knight, played here from 91 to 95. He is back as assistant coach. And we are ready to get underway. Gladness with the tap. And that's Lynn Washington, 44, with it. Dane Fife, the freshman from Michigan, the Mr. Basketball, also starting today. Luke Recker, the familiar sophomore now from DeKalb. Jimenez, outside shot. Just falls short. And that rebound comes down to Ricky Dannon.
Really don't know much about the North Melbourne Giants, as we mentioned. This is their first game, so let's check out Indiana. Let's see what type of defensive pressure. The thing Coach Knight really looking for from his guards is put a lot of pressure, be able to contain the people out front, not letting people get around, and really put a lot of pressure on your inside defensive people.
Back cut, and Jimenez there to help. Good shot, though. Number 8, Antone Howard, 5'11" guard, hits the first two.
Very, very quick, Antone Howard. He's a guy, did a little back cut right there, was able to get around Dane Fife.
And Lynn Washington, that's what he will do. He is a rebounding machine.
He is very big and strong. And here's something you're not used to seeing, Indiana picking up full court. You can see Indiana, a much quicker team, trying to take advantage of that quickness, picking up full court.
Score tied early.
Luke Jimenez, an outstanding defensive player, always in good defensive position.
33, Cameron Mack with the shot. There's Gladness with the tip. Comes down to Luke Egan.
Right there, something that killed Indiana last year. Offensive rebound. Indiana for the season, a negative 105. Got out rebounded 105. And this makes it difficult to win. There's the second offensive rebound.
And that foul's going to go on Cameron Mack, though, as Luke Recker got the charge.
Smart play by Recker. You can see right here inside Lynn Washington. Look at the strength. He goes up. You don't have to be a real big guy. If you remember, Wes Unseld was only about 6'6", one of the best rebounders the NBA's ever seen. So using your body inside, using your strength, very important.
There's a shot. And score that one. Foul went on the Melbourne Giants of Boot Recker at the line, so count that basket. And a chance for a three-point play.
It's an outstanding curl by Luke Recker. Did a nice job getting the screen, curled off of it. And those are the type of things Luke Recker has got to do. He's an outstanding player inside. It will open up his jump shot outside. He's got to continue to work inside and get to the free throw line.
Again, full court pressure, man-to-man by Indiana.
So far, you really like the pressure put on. Here's Washington at 6'7". Maybe doesn't come in quite that tall, maybe about 6'6", but you can see him getting outside and really putting a lot of pressure. Nobody able to just catch and look.
On the baseline, stepped out of bounds, Luke Egan did. As Recker applied that pressure, I was watching the shot clock that time. Of course, 35 seconds to shoot. It's taken Melbourne 10 seconds to get in their offense started even. And I think that will be a help to the Hoosiers.
And it all has to do with picking up the ball at half court rather than starting to play defense at the top of the key. I mean, it's a tremendous difference when you have to fight that additional 20 feet to get into some type of offense.
Fife on top. There's his shot, and good. A three-pointer for Dane Fife.
One thing you see about Dane Fife has a tremendous amount of poise. I think it's important to know that his brother played at the University of Michigan. His father's a coach. So as you look at him, he looks like a veteran even though he's only a freshman. Also, he was a high school quarterback, an outstanding quarterback, and I think he brings that to the table also.
Good drive that time and a tip. But goaltending is called as
on that play right there. Fife in excellent position, but then didn't hold the position. Went out, let the guy drive to the basket instead of staying there and taking the charge, which he should have done. And I'm sure when they watch films, coach will talk to him about standing in there and taking that charge.
Indiana leads at 8-2. Fife on the drive and a foul. So a good first step there. And that foul goes on Howard.
Well, the good thing there is Dane Fife recognizing. Coach talked about recognition being so important to this team. Right away, he recognized he's bigger and stronger than Howard. That's where he's got to take advantage. He's got to get him down inside and use some of his height and his strength to score inside.
Jimenez on top. Gladness to the basket.
Good passing off the run. Somebody's going to step in and take a charge.
Gladness on the drive and a foul. That one on Ricky Daniels, 6'8".
Indiana's offense, very important for Indiana's offense to stay spread. When you're a smaller and a quicker team, you want to make it very difficult on the opposition, so you want to drive the ball whenever possible.
Fife cut up on the baseline there. Recker outside. Indiana shot very well from the three-point line in the inter-squad scrimmage Tuesday. And that's why these threes are going up today. What a move that time. Antone Howard hits the runner as he was falling out of bounds. 8-4 now.
Very important for Indiana to stop the basketball. Luke Recker drives too far, ends up throwing the basketball away. But the last time down, Howard was able to take it from end to end. Somebody has got to step in, has got to make him pick that basketball up. You just can't continue to let him drive all the way to the basket.
Bob Knight in his 28th year as the head coach at Indiana. 618 wins, 220 losses.
He's been here 28 years. That tells you and I are getting pretty old.
We are. There's a travel. Forced turnover by Indiana. 2 turnovers now for North Melbourne. They'll come with some substitutes here, as Indiana will. We'll get a look at Kirk Haston. Kirk is 6'10", 230 from Lobelville, Tennessee. He redshirted last year. There he is, number 35.
He is Indiana's tallest player. So far, reports from practice, does a lot of good things inside. He just needs to be a little stronger and a little bit more aggressive. Got to get in there and get used to getting banged around. I think that's the one important thing about, talk about Dane Fife being a football player. Football players are used to getting knocked down, banged around.
And there's good passing there. Recker got it to Gladness, and then Gladness on to Haston and the foul. Two fouls now on Howard.
An excellent pass by Gladness. You'd like to see him go ahead and take that ball on up there, right there. So Gladness had the chance to lay that ball in, maybe get a three-point play. You can see the excellent touch.
Haston hits that free throw. See Fife directing traffic outside.
That's nice to see.
Good leadership already.
Good leadership. Only as a freshman, he's out there trying to get people in position so they have a chance to win basketball games, and that's the most important thing.
Long pass and is completed, and it is traveling, and that's a turnover. You're watching Big Ten basketball from ESPN+. Indiana leads it by 6.
Lightning herbicide. You only need to strike once.
My father founded this company in 1931, Marsh Supermarkets. He had built a good company, and he had good people. And that has been the strength of this company, really. We try to be very innovative to create a one-stop shop for the consumer. A lot of small shops under one roof. We think it is the format of the future. For example, like cheese shops, floral, produce comes from all parts of the globe. Prime meat. You don't have to go to the butcher shop. We have it. All of our people are looking for ideas. How can we do it better?
Back in Bloomington, where Indiana leads the North Melbourne Giants 10-4.
There's a good look at Fife. As Melbourne puts on a little pressure. It's to Recker. And now Indiana slows it down.
You'd like to see Recker take that ball once they get it over the initial pressure and really drive it hard to the free throw line. It makes it a 3-on-2. Instead, he let the defense go on by, and then they decide to attack here. You can see a zone defense for the first time. Let's see what Indiana does with it.
Fife across to Jimenez. Good pass. Tipped by Gladness. Mack comes away with it. There's a steal. Recker has it. 3-on-2. He's trying to get to the middle. Does. Over to Gladness and tipped by Hastings.
Good hustle by Hastings. You'd like to see William Gladness get that in on the first try, but it was an excellent run, fast break. Good hustle by Hastings getting down the floor. Indiana getting their hands on a lot of balls defensively so far.
Cameron Mack with that shot from the outside. Hastings laid back, and Mack hit it. Indiana by 5. So a 1-2-2 zone inside to Hastings.
Excellent
shot
pass.
Short.
Excellent pass by Fife inside to Hastings. A little unexpected not to get the basketball.
Foul on Jimenez. Let's take a look at the last steal.
See Recker come up from behind, knocks the ball away, does an excellent job taking the ball to the middle. He sees Gladness right away, waits, gives it to him. That's a ball he's got to get in, but as we said, good hustle by the big man getting down the floor. Look at Fife trying to keep Howard down in the corner. Excellent defensive job right there. Once you get him in the corner, don't let him out. Keep him down there.
Now Fife's on a bigger guy as he and Hastings switched off. And there's the steal. Fife grabs it. And that's an easy one.
Yeah, the one great thing about Indiana being not a very big team is you can pretty much switch on anybody on the floor. I mean, Gladness can play guard, as we saw Fife playing their center. So Indiana should be able to switch, make it very difficult defensively for the other team.
14-7 Indiana. Much better defensively. A drive that time. The rebounding, though. Albert comes up with another one. Now Gladness has
Give it up. Give it up.
He does rather inadvertently to Fife. Recker to Hastings. Turns. Jump hook is no. Just off. And Indiana tips it out. Well, I like the offense. They're seeing the openings. They're going to the man, and then the shots will fall.
Well, the one thing they've obviously been working on in practice is against the zone, not just coming down and not just firing up threes, even though they're an excellent three-point shooting team. The thing that is going to open up those threes and really give you good looks is by first getting the ball inside, and it's what they've done an excellent job. Now when the team starts going down inside having to play against the big people, then you'll start getting a lot of good looks from the three-point line.
Lynn Washington back in for Indiana. He replaces Gladness. Here's a drive all the way by Howard. Finally stopped. And nobody there on that pass. Turnover. Ricky Daniels flipped it to where a guard may have been. That's 7 turnovers now.
I think he saw the official, his peripheral vision, and see the turnovers so far. Indiana doing an excellent job defensively, forcing 7 turnovers by Melbourne already.
And the points off those turnovers, 12 out of 14. That's how important defense is.
Must be a wet spot right there. Official calling a timeout, having one of the towel guys come out with some towels, wipe that wet spot up. Had a couple guys slip and fall.
Yeah, I think a guy, Ted, they're going to like also is Washington. About 6'7", 6'6", but real strong. It's one of those bangers inside.
See Indiana attacking the zone. Good pass fake right there by Fife. That's good. Something you can't teach. As we see Washington, he comes across the lane and goes down. But yeah, Washington, a big, strong guy. You can see really holds his position well inside. Yeah, Indiana tries to attack the zone. Good shot fakes, good pass fakes will get you good looks against the zone.
Fife now back on top.
Down to 5, shot clock. Somebody's got to get one up.
Jimenez will. And that was just to beat the shot. Good defense that time. Indiana moved the ball well, but didn't seem to have a purpose in that move.
You can see right there against that, though, against that defense, Indiana really didn't get the ball down in the middle. I mean, they got it down inside along the baseline one time, but once you get the ball down in the middle, it really creates problems for the zone defense. That time they just kind of passed it around the perimeter, and because of it, not able to get a good shot.
Pressure that time as Fife knocked it away. They're in bounds.
I like the way Fife uses his body defensively. Basketball's become a physical game. You need to use your body.
Easton nearly comes up with a steal. And again, Recker in good position to take that charge.
Luke Recker just does an outstanding job taking advantage of mistakes made by the other team right there. You can see he loses the handle of the basketball. Here's an easy opportunity, take a charge, get a turnover.
Don't count the basket either, so a good defensive play all around. Recker steps into that shot and hits the three-pointer.
It's a pretty quick shot, but this is the team you might see take a little quicker shots than Indiana teams in the past. They're a smaller team.
6 points now for Recker. On the drive is Howard and hits the left-hander. Beat Jimenez one-on-one there.
You'd rather see him take that shot, though, than getting all the way to the basket for a layup.
Fife with a jump shot. Again, off the dribble that time. That's confidence for a young man in his first game. 7 points for Fife.
Everybody on the floor needs to know they have to help Luke Jimenez out in this situation. There's a travel. Hammer.
The turnovers continue to pile up for North Melbourne. You're watching Big Ten basketball from ESPN+.
It's the only sedan under $20,000 with a 5-star government front crash test rating. Ford Taurus, now even a better value. Its standard Duratec V6 means power and performance at no extra charge. It has over 40 standard safety features. Need another reason? Get a lower monthly payment on a '99 Taurus with low 1-9 financing or $500 cash back. More reasons why your Indiana Ford store is the place.
Hey, Mr. Cheever, I'll shoot you for a bag of Rachel potato chips.
Sure, kid. There's no competition when it comes to the great taste of Rachel's gourmet potato chips. Cholesterol-free Rachel's are clearly the winner's choice. Uh-oh. Kid, you're pretty good. Where'd you learn to play that well?
I got a few tips from my dad.
Hey, Scott, I'll shoot you for your bag of Rachel's potato chips.
No way, Dad.
Stock up on Rachel's made-from-the-heart gourmet potato chips.
Healthcare. From the outside, it can appear complex. Often it's hard to make a decision, especially when you're offered so many choices. The alternatives may be very different. Other times, they all seem to be the same. We're Sagamore Health Network. We offer you straightforward, innovative healthcare plan solutions. And over 500,000 Hoosiers already know we're serving their needs. Caring, compassionate, cost-effective. It's our mission. It's what your health plan should be.
Back in Bloomington, where Indiana leads 19-9. Indiana has forced a tremendous amount of turnovers right here. Nice job by Dane Fife, jumping in the lane. Takes it down. Ooh. Just a nice little layup, like what I'm used to seeing.
And here he is the next time down. I tell you, I've got a prediction, Ted, that this is going to be your kind of player. He's a tough, hard-nosed kid, plays hard, likes to shoot.
Ooh, I like that.
Huh? Let's watch him over his career at IU.
And likes to win.
Likes to win.
Ooh,
That's
I
right.
like
There
that
you go.
too. Yeah. Oh, yeah. See, back to man-to-man. Let's see how Indiana does changing defense. You take a look at the field goal percentage. Melbourne shooting 50%. The problem is they're turning it over about 2 out of every 3 times down the floor.
Ball kicked out of bounds, reset the shot clock. Dane Fife, Luke Recker, Haston, Lynn Washington, and Jimenez in the lineup for Indiana.
Very important against the man-to-man. Let's see what type of screening Indiana gets. You can see Hastings right there. Nice little jump shot.
21-9 now, Indiana. Haston on the post.
This is where he really needs to get in, use his body.
Recker comes down with that board. Indiana always looking to break.
Good block out, and then Recker does a nice job of, once you block out, going after the basketball. Good screen on the baseline. Washington. Excellent move right there by Washington. You can see great quickness towards the baseline.
Recker, his third charge of the day, and they've all been from the same spot, right in the 3-second lane.
Melbourne a little bit out of control. Luke Recker continues to take advantage of it. Keep running him over, and Indiana will be at the free throw line. See right here, excellent position right there.
I like that combination, Recker and Fife. Two heady players, smart basketball skills.
I think they're tough players. They also like to bang.
Haston leaves now 6 points in just a short time there, but I think he showed some offensive skills.
I think the thing that he needs to continue to work on, and talking to the coaching staff, is not scoring points and things like that. Those are things that are going to come naturally. They're just getting used to getting banged around and getting a little tougher inside. He's going to have to be one of Indiana's big guys.
Recker hits 2 there. Indiana comes with some substitutes at the next dead ball. And out of bounds.
They're going to get Lynn Washington leaning.
Is on Washington in the foul. Michael Lewis, A.J. Guyton, and Rob Turner all check in. And they go for Jimenez, Recker, and Dane Fife.
Dane Fife comes in. Take a look at him while he's playing defense on the floor. Good positioning, knows where people are. Once the guy picks the ball up, he's all over him. Just an outstanding play right there. Rob Turner needs to know where the basketball is. You can see it got behind him. Good pressure.
Yep. And tough rebound, though. Easy shot. Stuart Forsythe hits it. The rebounding still seems to be bothering the Hoosiers.
Especially the offensive rebounding. You know, they just continue to get offensive rebounds against Indiana. Indiana's got to do a better job of getting people off the board.
Gladness inside. Good defense there as the ball's tipped away. Indiana will retain possession.
A little high-low by Indiana. You could see Washington trying to beat Gladness down inside. Michael Lewis got to get his defensive man out of there. He was out of there. It's probably an easy 2 points for Gladness.
That pass stolen. Rebounding 10-5 in favor of Melbourne.
Indiana's had some excellent defensive sequences, but 2 or 3 times they've gotten shots. On second, third shots, as you see,
Adam Berry way outside there, a three-pointer.
Knocking down the long 3. A.J. Guyton's a guy for Indiana. Obviously, we know what he's capable of, but he's a guy that really needs to move on the floor with a lot of purpose. Has to set up his screens. If not, he gets to wandering around the floor.
Lewis, a shot fake, goes to Gladness in the lane, and that ball blocked and a jump ball. Lewis just didn't feel he could get that shot away with the big guys around him.
Now, that's a defensive tie-up, and the defense will automatically get the ball. Is that correct?
That is correct. That is a rule change.
That is a rule change. I'm on top of those rule changes, thanks to our truck technicians.
You have an informant. I don't think you studied the rule book this year yet.
But for anybody wondering, anytime there's a defensive tie-up on the basketball, it no longer is an alternating possession. The defense ties you up. The defense gets the basketball.
You like that rule, don't you?
I like any way I can get my hands on the basketball.
Good tip there. I'll tell you, everything seems to be going well for Indiana except for the offensive rebounding, as you mentioned. 25-16 now.
Indiana's just got to do a better job of getting bodies on people. You can see the high-low once again.
Ball tipped the rim. That's why Gladness couldn't come up with it. Haston will come in.
Really more effective when you don't have to throw over the top. With a smaller team, you'd like to see Gladness come around and post and get the bounce pass inside and when you're playing against the high-low. They want a full timeout.
Indiana will take the timeout to talk about that rebounding. You're watching Big Ten basketball from ESPN+.
Do you want to know the easiest way to put a smile on someone's face? Well, you're looking at it. Prairie Farms Ice Cream. The ice cream...
Howard worked the floor, try to penetrate. So it's very important for Indiana to control him because it really takes their offense away.
High post is Haston. Man-to-man defense now. Guyton with a shot. One dribble, and he hits that shot.
They'll find out they need to get in A.J. Guyton's face. He's a guy that really can light it up with the jump shot. Like to see if he's a little bit stronger, can maybe get to the basket a little bit better this year.
Shot is off. The rebound twice, though, is Gemmel, Stuart Gemmel.
When you have a small team like Indiana has, it's very important for the guards to be very involved rebounding. They really need to go after the basketball and aggressively go attack the basket and get the basketball off the board.
Rob Turner, he was open, and A.J. found him. Three-pointer.
I think Rob Turner could be a real difference in whether this team's a pretty average team or a very good team. If Rob Turner really focuses in, comes to play each and every night on both ends of the basketball floor, he could turn Indiana into a pretty good basketball team.
Even Gladness pressuring way out toward the 10-second line. Now it goes back inside. And the foul. Gladness let that ball come in the post.
Very important for Indiana to also realize when you're a team and you don't have a lot of height, you can't let the person get position and then expect to play defense on them, because you're going to be playing against a lot bigger people. You're going to get in foul trouble. It's very important to take the cuts away inside, not let them establish that position. Once they do, you're in big trouble.
Second one in. Still man-to-man. Looks like a zone, a half-court zone trap now.
With the quickness Indiana has on the basketball floor, I think it'd be very difficult for anybody to trap them. You really got to aggressively attack the basket. When people throw those type of things at you, you really have to make them pay rather than just getting the ball across the floor. Make them pay when they're trying to half-court trap you.
Turnover by Indiana. An offensive rebound by Melbourne. Shot blocked, though, by Haston. Here come the Hoosiers, 4-on-3. Guyton with the shot. It was off.
Oh, what a save.
He made the steal, flipped it back to A.J. Now to Turner. In and out. Turner had that shot, passed it up. Deflected.
Good play by Turner, bringing it back out. You really didn't have it. But the start of the play, you'd really like to see A.J. Guyton explosively take that ball to the basket. After he picks up the steal by Gladness, it's one-on-one. There's nobody in the country should be able to handle A.J. Guyton.
A.J. from the outside, a three-pointer. Good patience by Indiana that time, and got the shot they wanted.
See Gladness, tremendous quickness for a 6'7" player inside.
Lewis takes that charge. It's obvious the Melbourne team has not seen a defense like this where guys are willing to fall back on their back side to draw that foul. That's a 4th one now by the Hoosiers.
Okay, let's take a look at the steal. Gladness makes an outstanding steal right here. You can see, great job, throws it back in. Now watch Guyton. Guyton's going to get it. He's one-on-one right here. This is when he has to take it to the basket. You don't wait for anybody else You have to take it to the basket, make that guy play it, get a foul. Those are the type of things you'd like to see A.J. Guyton take over in a situation like that. Bad shot by Turner.
Right down come the Melbourne Giants, and a foul on Indiana.
And you talk about bad shots. Those are the things that Coach Knight gets upset about. Not only is it a bad shot, but usually bad shots turn into easy basket or easy opportunities for the other team. You can see it was a long rebound. Melbourne's off and running. They didn't get the three-point play, but they are going to get a chance to shoot two free. Well, they're going to make him take it out of bounds here. I thought he was going to get to shoot two free throws.
Larry Richardson in the game for the first time. The junior from Orange Park, Florida. Lynn Washington also back in. Good pressure by Richardson there. Turner pulls it down. Ball tipped away, comes right back to A.J., and he lays it in.
Now, is that an assist to himself?
That could be the first assist to yourself ever in Indiana history. That's pretty darn close. 35-17, Indiana.
It looks to me like A.J.'s really trying to get out there and put more pressure. You can see Lynn Washington, excellent steal. Okay, now right there's what I'm talking about. Michael Lewis, not as big, not as quick as A.J. Guyton, but you can see when you take the ball to the basket, you put a tremendous amount of pressure on the defense, making them play you. Not only gets the basket, but also gets to shoot a free throw. Excellent job by Washington after he makes the steal to know where he is, positions himself for the rebound if it comes out. Michael Lewis with the excellent finish for Indiana.
Washington scrapping for that one, couldn't come away with it.
He is a scrapper, though. He's big and strong. Very strong lower body.
Good spin move there. Shot off. And again, offensive rebound. That's Jason Schubert. And that gets Antone Howard the shot, a three-pointer. Washington faces up, finds Guyton. Little jumper's off.
Ball kind of rolled out of his hand as he went up to shoot that one. Great pass by Howard.
And it is Stuart Forsythe with the easy basket.
Coach Knight's talking to Larry Richardson as he walks down the floor. There's no way they should be able to make that pass in there. Larry's out guarding his man out in the corner.
Little jump hook that time by Richardson. And Guyton will pick up the foul there as Antone Howard just took him one-on-one.
Basically, their offense. Antone Howard's going to continue to put the pressure on the Indiana defense, just coming down, going one-on-one, trying to drive and dish. Or pull up for the jump shot as he did in that situation.
Well, I think that pressure defense that Indiana's using has really taken them out of any kind of offense. I haven't seen a play that they've been able to run, and that's been the difference in the game, is Indiana's pressure causing the turnovers.
Especially the first group was in there. When Recker, Dane Fife, when that group was in there, they did an outstanding job of not letting people go where you want to go. I mean, that to me is what Indiana's defense has always been about. You know, you get into some type of set, certain teams want to go certain places, you bump them off their cuts, don't let them go where they want to, and it really throws their rhythm out the door.
Now, without the chance to scout Melbourne, Indiana doesn't really know what to take away from them, but in the course of the game against a Big Ten opponent, they'll know that and should be a big help. Indiana with the 16-point lead. You are watching Big Ten basketball from ESPN+.
Rated the best-built full-size truck. The only line of full-size supercabs that comes with 4 doors, standard. More repeat buyers than any other pickup. Outsells Chevy and every other truck in America. Ford F-Series. Need another reason? It's Ford.
Where you give A.J. Guyton time outside and he squares up, you've got problems. A.J. Guyton goes inside. This is the assist to himself. You can see a little bit out of control, but does a nice job of getting the ball up on the basket.
Now, to our young viewers, obviously, you're not serious about that. You're being
I'm always serious.
Facetious. You can't pass the ball yourself.
Well, it looked like he did.
You would have tried. I know you would have. But you can't get an assist and a goal on the same play. Good rebound. That's what we're going to see from Washington right there.
He's just aggressive. He just continues to go after the basketball. Does a nice job. He went up with a little jump shot, looked good, didn't go in, but he continued to go after it. He's a guy you're going to have to get a body on and keep him off the boards if you're an opponent. You know, right there, Michael Lewis has got to close down. You can't let that guy drive between you, as Indiana has let happen 2 or 3 times. Got to make him pass that ball out to the corner rather than getting all the way to the basket as they have.
Cut by Lewis. Just off on the shot. And a fast break by Melbourne. Good drive to the hoop, and that is Egan. Looked pretty smooth coming right in the lane.
Coach will not be happy, Larry Richardson, letting the man get all the way to the basket.
Washington posting up on the block. Now he's going to take it inside.
But excellent post moves. Indiana really hasn't had a guy probably since Calvert Chaney or Alan Henderson that was really good down in the post that you could give the ball to and expect 2 points or a foul to come.
Here's steal by Guyton.
He was where he needed to be, just didn't get an arm on the basketball.
That shot rolls in. Tim Barber. Melbourne hanging tough now. They're still down 14. A minute and a half left, first half. Guyton for 3. It falls short.
Coach Knight's seen enough of this group as you see Wrecker, Fife, and Luke Jimenez get off the bench, and Melbourne buries another 3-pointer.
That was Tim Barber. Timeout. Indiana's going to call timeout to get the 3 guards in the game.
It's a
20-second timeout. Just to get the sub in. 1:04 left in the half. So it'd be Wrecker, Jimenez, and Fife back in. This 20-second timeout is brought to you by Spies. And there you see the IU assistant coaches, Mike Davis, Pat Knight, John Trialor. And trainer is Tim Garl. He is the head trainer. There's Pat Knight. Be very interesting to watch him over the course of the year, see how he can use his experience as a player here at Indiana to help these young kids, and then to see his coaching style, as he's been a coach in the CBA and some other semi-professional leagues, now landing here back in Bloomington.
Indiana kind of fell asleep there. They got that big lead, did a nice job to work very hard to get that lead. But you'll remember last year, you see Howard take the ball away from Fife right there, and it's not been a good last minute for Indiana. You remember Indiana had tremendous problems holding leads last year.
It was 16 points just a minute ago. It's down to 9.
If you remember, they had almost a 20-point lead against Oklahoma in the NCAA. It went to overtime. Indiana able to win that basketball game.
Now Indiana wait for the last shot as the shot clock is off for the rest of the half.
Might be a little bit more excitement in the locker room after these last 2 minutes than there would have been previous.
Pass inside to Richardson, stolen. 6 seconds left.
We saw Pat Knight out working with Larry on catching the basketball right there. He had 2 points. They're not going to get a shot. Good defense. Indiana turned the ball over, but at least came back with good defense and didn't let them score.
And you're right, except for the last couple minutes, Indiana played very well. 41-32 at the half, still a 9-point lead. And a different Hoosier team.
Ball inside, and it's just not going to work. When you have the height Indiana has, you're going to have to knock people off cuts and play defense before they get the basketball, not after.
Good look at Cameron Mack. Hits both, and the lead is 8. Hit 1 of 2.
You know, here's a 3-quarter court press. Indiana's got tremendous quickness. Everybody can handle the basketball. You really got to take the ball to the basket, make them pay, and Indiana does.
They got the shot they wanted. Luke Wrecker on a 3-pointer.
A lot of that started because Dane Fife basically took the ball to the middle.
Pass inside, gets just around Washington, and Ricky Daniels lays it in.
See what type of screening Indiana. Oh, good pass. Good job by Hastings. Clearing himself, realizing he's open. He looks at Luke Jimenez, and Jimenez able to find him.
Fife stepped in and deflected that pass out of bounds.
Take a look at Indiana breaking the press. Nice job of staying spread. You can see takes it to the middle. Washington gives it back. Recker spots up. He knocks down the jumper. When people press you, you got to make them pay. See Fife now out on Howard. See what type of position he does defensively. Good 5-second call. Howard, thinking about the offense, forgets how close the defensive man is to him as long as you stay within 5 feet.
Dane Fife stayed right with him. And the turnover goes to Indiana. Now foul on Haston on the screen. He was not set when he set a screen. He got called for the foul.
They called the foul on the back screen. Coach Knight not very happy, but I'm sure he'd rather see a guy get a foul screening or knocking somebody down as they're going for a rebound.
Recker with the steal, stepped on the line. Much more aggressive defense. Several times, Ted, we've seen as they move out to make that steal.
Okay, Hastings right here. You see how he steps into him. You've got to position yourself and let that guy back into you. The reason he gets that foul is because he steps up into him, almost like you're up for the Colts laying a block on somebody today.
Jimenez moved his feet well. Oh, what a shot.
Cannot shoot it over the top of the backboard. You remember Larry Bird did that in the NBA, and even though it went in, it didn't count. So you can't shoot them up over the top.
That's good force there by Jimenez to use the baseline, the sideline there as his help. Good screen by Haston. Recker open. Short on that shot.
Washington going for another rebound, though. Really bangs, really goes after the basketball.
Recker comes away with that one. Jump ball.
Okay, now we're taking a look at Luke Jimenez. Again, position defense tries to drive him down to the corner. Got him exactly. Now he's got nowhere to go. Can't pass it. Indiana does a nice job there. You can't shoot it because you're behind the backboard. Good. Again, Luke Jimenez just does an outstanding job. That's a foul. Good call by the official. Fife gets the ball knocked away from behind. It's a smart play. He tries to keep the guy from getting the basketball, but it's a good call by the official.
Picked up the foul. Fife's first. And errant pass. So good quickness there by Howard. He saved a pass that was going out of bounds.
Fife's the kind of kid, he comes off right away as the kind of kid when he does make a mistake like that, he's going to grit his teeth and really try to get it back. Let's see what he does here. Excellent recovery right there.
Rebound to Cameron Mack. Jimenez helps out to prevent the three. And the foul. Nothing good happens when a team gets a rebound offensively.
Not the fourth or fifth time we've seen them being the Melbourne Giants getting a second or third shot, and each time Indiana either ends up fouling, they end up with an easy basket. Take a look right here. Howard does a nice job cutting down the middle. Nobody able to pick him up. He gets tripped, and he'll shoot 2.
He's got 12 points. Very quick outside, left-hander.
But even though he's only got 12 points, he's the man that's created a lot of points for the other guys, driving down the middle, dishing off. Indiana's had a lot of problems with guards with quickness that do a lot of penetrating. Remember, Indiana had a lot of trouble with McKean Cleaves last year for Michigan State, who they'll once again see.
That one bounces in. Indiana by 10.
Long pass.
Fife to Washington, to Haston in the left. Good interior passing.
Washington, excellent hands, came up with a very difficult pass to catch right there. Watch Luke Jimenez when he's away from the ball. Now he'll kind of fake at you and get the guy to pick the basketball up if he's coming his way. Little things like that make such a big difference.
Fife with the steal, good hands, 4 on 2. He waits for help. Haston lays it in.
Excellent by both the young players right there. Fife gave him a chance. You know, he waited on Haston to come in. Haston did a nice job of coming in, filling the position, used his height, took it to the basket strong.
Haston with 12 points. Again, stripped by Jimenez. Saved into the scorer's table. Indiana Jimenez stepped on the line.
Coach Knight's got to like that, though. You get guys diving on the floor, wanting the basketball. He likes that.
6 points now for Lynn Washington. Let's watch that last play.
Jimenez away from the basketball again. See right there? He's the guy that gets his hand on the basketball. You'd like to see him in a little bit better position, not reaching, but still, he's aware of where the basketball is, and he's in excellent position.
50-36, Indiana leads it. You're watching Big Ten basketball from ESPN+.
Fife makes the great steal, but Howard is so used to just being able to dribble around people and get to the basket. All of a sudden, he's got a guy he can't dribble around. The guy plays great position on him. He just throws the ball away.
Out of bounds to Indiana on the foul. Haston on top. Fife tries to post up on Howard. Gladness low, spins. There's a strong move.
Nice to see him turn to his right shoulder. If you'll remember, last year at this time, the only shoulder he could only turn left. Turn to that left shoulder. This year, that's 2 or 3 times in a row we've seen him turn to the other shoulder. Habits are hard to break, and you can see he's worked extremely hard to improve in that area. He's going to get 2 for it right here, too.
Oh, the pass by Fife behind the back. And that's the play of the game right there. Fife with the steal and then the dish.
How many times can you say it, though? All of Indiana's real exciting plays turn out because they played wonderful defense. They step on the out-of-bounds line right there. Indiana's going to be going the other way.
21 turnovers by Melbourne. And this is the kind of basketball I think Indiana fans have been used to watching over the years. Guys diving on the floor. The defense can be exciting, even though they're known as the Hurricane Hoosiers. Haston on the post, spins. Down to Gladness, and the shot.
He is really, really quick down inside. You see the difference. Haston, bigger, stronger, making the move down inside. But Gladness just able to use his tremendous quickness, able to get around the defender and then explodes to the basket. Watch how he gets around the guy, but then how he's just up right away. There's just not much as a defender you can do right there.
There's a good look at Gladness, the senior, 6'8", 220, from West Memphis, Arkansas. He traveled with the Big Ten All-Star team this summer, so got to know some of the other guys in the league.
Now, in this case,
there's no possession, so that there was no offense or defense. That's why it's the alternating out of bounds.
I knew I could count on you to bring me through in that very difficult situation right there.
Now, if there was a held ball, obviously Melbourne would have had it, and that would be a turnover.
You can see Luke a little bit out of position right there. I've talked him up all day, but you can see that they tried to get a trap right there. Got to help the sideline, make the sideline your friend right there.
Kurt Haston comes out to a big
Take a look at Jimenez. You've got him pinned in right there, but you can see he's moving along the sideline. Good call by the official and good play by the Melbourne Giants taking advantage.
Oh, they got him trapped up. 3 right there. He got out of it. Gladness helps and enough to distract the shot. Cameron Mack offensive rebound.
Record thought he got away with one right there, but again, you block out and don't give him that second shot. That's the second time they're going to be shooting this time down the floor, and they end up with free throws. See right here, Record. He's watching the basketball rather than getting a body on number 33, Mack. If he gets a body on Mack right there, rather than watching the basketball, Indiana's got the ball going the other way. Little things like that. I mean, I've talked a lot about positioning on defense, and it doesn't seem like, those things are important, but those are the little things that Quinn Buckner used to do, or Steve Alford, Isaiah Thomas, the little things that they do make big differences in the basketball game.
Quickly up to 5. Washington turns. Recker. He's fouled, and that was behind the three-point line.
Pretty quick shot. If you don't feel like that one's going in, you better fall down. Coach is talking to Recker about giving him a little pump fake going around him, creating problems for the defense. This is a quick shot. You can see he positions himself outside. Good job by Washington turning, going the other way. No doubt about it. Definitely got it. We talk about Washington. When he catches the ball, you can see how he spins and right away looks opposite. I mean, that's something you remember Coach always saying against the zones. Catch and look opposite. And he just naturally does that, and that's something very, very good against presses or against zone defenses half court.
3 in a row for Recker, and Indiana's lead up to 16. You're watching Big Ten basketball from ESPN+.
I'm sure that they are looking for another national title after an excellent job by Tubby Smith and his group last year.
Gladness inside. 5 swings around to the baseline. Recker inside Washington. Gladness. Ball came up just with the wrong spin. It spun away from the basket instead of toward it.
I think he got slapped right there, but a good job by Recker getting the ball inside. That really breaks down the zone. And then again, Washington, as soon as he catches, he spins and looks opposite. Gladness cuts to the basket, gets 2 free throws.
Indiana struggled in the inter-squad scrimmage on Tuesday from the free throw line, not today. Did I say that too soon?
No.
Gladness missed that second one, out of bounds to Melbourne.
Shaquille O'Neal would be happy if he could walk away at 50%. He'd probably be happy if he could just walk away at this point in time for them.
Pressure by Jimenez. Good pass that time. Schubert misses that shot.
Pick it up.
Indiana trying to run really before they have it. Comes out to fight.
Don't want to try to dribble your way out of problems. Pick the basketball up. Jimenez picks the ball up. Really didn't have anybody to pass it to.
Washington gets stripped. Recker short. Followed his own shot. Left hand, he laid it in. What a play.
That's just pure instinct right there. I mean, to be able to come up with the basketball, Coach Knight not going to be happy that he didn't get back down the floor, but just a wonderful instinctive play to come up with the basketball, spin. You can see he comes up short, but he knows it's going to be short, so he goes after it. You can see he does a nice job. Now watch him just spin. 2 guys bang on him right here. Wonderful left hand right there. Coach Knight talking to him. He says, you got to get back on defense, but it's an awfully good play on the other end. He loves Luke Recker's hustle.
And the 3-point play completed by Forsythe. He's got 7. High pass, Recker, reverse. Game 5 saw him open.
Those guys are roommates. Fife was looking at him as soon as he got the ball coming down the floor. He recognized the defender was not close to Luke Recker and had given him the head nod to go to the basket, as he did.
Trapped, nearly stolen. Ball hits the floor on the rebound. Recker has it.
Well, the other good thing about this team being very small, I mean, as soon as somebody comes up with the basketball, you can pretty much just take off to the other end of the basketball floor because everybody can handle the basketball.
Washington missed 2 right there. Now Jimenez. And it did get that one to go.
Another good play by Luke Jimenez. Makes a very heads-up play right there. No need driving it all the way to the basket. You can make a little 5-footer.
Steele. Gladness steps right in. All the way down.
Good. Again, Indiana putting excellent defensive pressure. I mean, this Melbourne team is not one of the quickest teams, obviously, Indiana is going to see all year, but still, nice to see Indiana in position, making the plays that they should make against a team like this.
Now a 31-point lead by Indiana.
Right there is the one problem they've had is down on the post. They're going to see a lot bigger players than they're seeing today. Coach Knight wants a 20-second timeout, and I'm sure he's going to talk about the post defense.
Still a few things to work on defensively. Overall, a good showing for the Hoosiers. This 22nd timeout is brought to you by Spies. Here's Indiana's November schedule. This Wednesday, November 4th, the athletes in action will be here. Seton Hall on Saturday, South Carolina on Sunday. Both those games will be at the RCA Dome in Indianapolis. Tickets are still available for those games. Indiana State then, November 14th, back here in Bloomington. Alabama, Birmingham on the 18th.
And then we're going to Hawaii?
We are not going. No, we are not going to Hawaii.
What?
No, we're not going.
What's the deal on that?
You went last year. You can't go this year.
What's up with that? I thought it said Maui.
That's the team, though. You and I aren't going to go.
Oh, gosh, my wife is going to be so disappointed when I give her the news.
27-8. Indiana has the run here in the last 7:02. And, you know, your wife never saw you anyway. You're in the golf course every day. I don't know what you're concerned about.
That's why she liked it, because she didn't have to.
And I still remember your partner, Don Fisher, let you down on the last hole.
Can you believe that?
To lose the bet.
He's a radio guy, you know.
Those radio guys?
You gotta watch those radio guys. Well, we've got a new group of people in there on the floor. We've got Guyton, Michael Lewis, and Rob Turner. And basically the timeout was to get them in, and I could basically see Coach Knight talking to them. Okay, you guys kind of screwed things up the last part of the first half. Here's your chance to get back in there, make amends for that, and let's see what type of performance they give.
They haven't gotten a lot of playing time in this game.
It's a man-to-man. You don't want to stand and just post against the man-to-man. It's good to post. Once you don't get it, then you got to take it out of there. But Washington really strong down inside once he does get his hands on the basketball.
Pass inside. Lewis got beat on a back cut. There's the layup.
Those are the little things that really irritate Coach Knight. Also, let's take a look when Howard is on offense for Melbourne. Let's see if he's able to get to the basket easier against A.J. Guyton than he was against Luke Jimenez.
Turner shot fake.
You'd like to see when Turner gets the man up in the air, then with his quickness, you'd like to see him take advantage. You know, drive around that defender, then you start putting a lot of pressure on the defense.
Hastings will be back in the lineup. You're watching Big Ten basketball from Indiana with the lead now. It is up to 29 points. And Indiana will have the ball out of bounds. Michael Lewis, Lynn Washington, Kirk Hastings, A.J. Guyton, and Rob Turner for the Hoosiers.
The type of movement Indiana gets here, if they're going to get a lot of standing around, if they get a lot of people with good sharp cuts, good screening against the man-to-man. Okay, you got a switch right there. Rob Turner needs to take advantage. Got the big man.
Out of Washington. A.J. went to the open spot. Now Lewis. Now it's Turner.
Good ball movement right there by Indiana. You got to go up with both hands. Hastings needed to go up with both hands and bring that ball in.
Quick shot the other end. Luke Egan. Hastings beats everybody down the floor and gets the jumper.
They have an excellent soft cut inside. You can see Coach yelling at Hastings. He's wanted to get both hands on that rebound the last time down the floor.
Hastings was 16 now. Good scoring day for him. Lewis helps, and good move that time. Ricky Daniels moved to the left to avoid the charge.
Good intentions by Hastings to go out and put pressure. Good drive by A.J. He's got to go up strong with that ball right there, though. He's got to finish that. Rob Turner will finish it for you.
Guyton's shot was blocked. Turner with the jam.
My point with Hastings defensively, though, it's nice to go out there and try to defend. That's what Coach Knight wants you to do. But if it's not there, you've got to back off. You've got to play position.
Oh, good step that time. Cameron Mack, two big ones going to the basket. Michael Lewis down quickly. Washington looking inside. Now back screen on the weak side by Turner. A.J. doesn't take advantage of it. Here's Lewis. He'll take that one. Three is good.
That'll be the difference in Michael Lewis seeing a lot of playing time or not. If he can come in and knock down that jump shot, it'll really make a big difference.
Lewis went for the steal and missed it. 3 Hoosiers tap it away, and Melbourne goes to the line.
Indiana's got to come up with that ball. Let's take a look at Haston playing defense down the block. Now watch, once the guy gets the ball, watch how he puts both hands up in the air. Very difficult to move your feet down low if you're going to put both hands up in the air. You've got to at least keep one hand down on his hip. You can maybe put one hand up in the air, but one hand on his hip. You put both hands up in the air and you try to move with somebody, the other guy's going to beat you every time.
And that's what happened there. Richardson comes in, and he comes in for Haston.
He's got to keep one hand down on that guy's hip so he can help control him. I mean, you've got to keep body contact down low. You can see Coach Knight talking to him about that same thing. Just standing there with your hands up in the air. It's good intentions, not want somebody to shoot up over the top of you, but with the quickness you're going to play against these people that you're playing against, they're going to buzz right around you.
Turner in the lane, goes to Lewis. The defense there, Turner.
He's got to. AJ's got to take that shot right there. He's wide open from 5 feet. No need taking the additional pass right there. They're giving you the 2 points.
Another steal by Melbourne.
Too long a pass by Michael Lewis, though.
Well, good hands there. Washington comes away with it.
You know, right there is what I'd like to see A.J. Guyton do. Rob Turner will take the ball to you. You can tell right away with his aggressiveness, he's taking that one dribble. He's coming at you. That's a good play. Take a look at Rob Turner's one-on-one. You and me, I can take you every time. See, he gets the shove, almost gets the 3-point opportunity. He'll shoot 2.
Turner a little right of center on that free throw. Dane Fife comes in. Guyton comes out.
One.
Turner hits that one.
Mr. Washington out there defending the passing lane. Excellent job. That is not easy to do.
And he comes to help.
Just late. He was in the right position. One more step out a half second earlier, and he's in the exact position coach would like to see him in.
Left-hander is good by Howard. Bob Knight, A.J. Guyton on the bench. Guyton back in now. And Washington, the ball came off Washington's leg. Back to Indiana. Guyton back in now for 5.
See Coach Knight talking to A.J. Guyton. He's a little upset with his play the last couple days. A.J. hasn't played extremely well today, but nobody knows how, more than Coach Knight, how important A.J. Guyton is going to be to this basketball team. He's trying to get in there, get him a little confidence. It's amazing what confidence will do to your play. See a good play by Washington. Nice, you got to like a guy that's just out there banging around, knocking people down.
And right when Indiana needed a player like that inside, Washington comes from San Jose, California, junior college transfer, San Jose Community College, and will be...
He's one of those guys that you just hate to play against in practice. He's always kneeing you or banging you or slapping you, and you just, my God, he's one of those guys that keeps coming at you day after day.
And he'll do well because he's on our side.
Indiana with 88 points with 4 minutes to go. Last year, whenever they got up over the 80-point mark, that usually meant a win for Indiana, and if they could keep the other team below 70, that usually meant a win.
Washington hits. Haston comes back in. Good showing for Lynn Washington. 10 points. And his first game as a Hoosier.
So all you kids at home watching want to know what you got to do. Just good, hard hustle is what Lynn Washington does, and it's made him a tremendous basketball player.
There's always a place on the team for a guy like that.
No question about it. A guy that's willing to get in there, do the things that need to be done, and just continue to hustle, go to the board, and do those type of things. I always love to play with those type of people.
Good defense by Lewis. Forced that high pass. Howard very quick.
Stepped out of bounds.
He did. Stepped on the line. Lewis with good pressure. 24 turnovers now. And that's been the difference in the game.
The other players on the Indiana team have a much more difficult problem trying to handle Howard other than Jimenez. And basically, he just uses his body, plays position defense.
Shot fake. Excellent. And a basket.
Sometimes A.J. Guyton gets caught up a little bit in trying to do too much. I mean, sometimes he needs to just, you talked about recognition. Good job by Haston coming up and knocking the ball away. The coach talked about recognition. Coach going to take a time. A.J. needs to recognize there are times when he needs to just take the ball to the basket.
91-60, Indiana. You're watching Big Ten basketball from ESPN+.
From power to payload to towing, Dodge Dakota can fill some pretty big shoes. And the price? Well, you get the picture. Why would someone need a Dodge Dakota with a 175 horsepower Magnum V6 at no extra charge? We think it has something to do with their childhood. Just see the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
We know the way home. St. Vincent Stress Centers, 338-4800.
Teachers Credit Union is proud to serve the state of Indiana, from the traditions of South Bend to the bright lights of Indianapolis, and all points in between. For over 65 years, TCU has helped build Indiana. This is our home. You are our families and neighbors.
We invite you to experience the reward of belonging with Teachers Credit Union.
Tradition, another reward of belonging to TCU.
Time now for our Power Player of the Game, brought to you by Synergy PSI, where energy comes to life.
Power Player of the Game. Somebody that's going to give you a tremendous amount of energy, give the team energy. Say it has to be Luke Recker. An excellent steal. You can see he lays it up. He's the guy that makes this team go. We saw it last year only as a freshman. I think you'll see it even more this year as he's moved up to a sophomore, but he gives this team a tremendous amount of energy.
It's great to see him smiling a lot this year as he was there on the bench. Points off turnovers, 41 points for Indiana. Low pass to Turner, Michael Lewis.
A great pass, but what great hands by Rob Turner. Soft hands, able to catch that in his left, spin it in there with the right. Rob Turner has tremendous ability. Doesn't bring it on a day-to-day basis yet, but when he does.
Tim Barber, three-point shot because of that rebound by the Giants. Haston had a nice
quick
bump
shot
there.
Right there. That is not good. Coach Knight will not be happy with that shot. Nothing going on in the offense, just coming down and firing one up.
Egan, some steps in the lane. Not again. Brown, Melbourne keeps possession.
See, Indiana kind of goes up and tips the basketball, but they don't go up and, when Washington goes up and gets it, he goes up with both hands, clears people out, and rips the ball down. Number of other Indiana players kind of go up and tip the basketball.
Tom Geyer in, number 53, 6'8", 230, is a freshman out of Lawrence North in Indianapolis.
Larry Richardson just a little slow to the basketball. Indiana going to come up with it, but not because they blocked anybody out and out-rebounded anyone.
Let's take a look at our key play of the game, sponsored by KeyBank. Help at every turn.
I think you're going to see a lot of key plays made by this guy right here. Dane Fife knocks the ball away. Excellent pass. Gladness goes up, knocks it down, all set up by great defense by the Hoosiers.
Rob Turner hit a jump shot. 95 points for the Hoosiers.
Rob Turner, a real spurty type of player, needs to become more consistent. Once he gets his consistently and comes to play each and every day, he's a guy, like I said, really will make a difference for Indiana.
Lewis on the three-pointer. That was quick, but he was wide open.
Again, there's a lot more going on right there. It's just not him dribbling down and firing one up. I mean, Guyton penetrates, gets position, and then Lewis able to light it up from the three-point line.
Richardson grabbed that rebound. A.J. Guyton, same spot, same result.
This team can score a lot of points.
101 in today's game. Drive, steal.
That's going to make the difference whether this is a good or an average basketball team. It's not scoring points, though. It's going to be rebounding and playing defense and bringing a toughness to the gym each and every day.
Gets this crowd going, too. That's another advantage to a defensive, exciting team. Wild pass is stolen.
Indiana had a lob pass set up right there. A.J. took off. As you can see, Australia just basically knocked him off his cut. And that's what Indiana needs to do when they're playing defense.
Geyer comes up with that loose ball. Turner is going for the jam.
He's as good a finisher inside as Indiana has. He's got great body control. He can really get up off the floor. But once he gets the ball inside, he's going to find a way to either get it in the basket or he's going to get to the free throw line as he did right here.
Good look at Turner. He's played well. He played well early last year and then did not play much in the Big Ten season, mostly because of defense and intensity of the game while he was in there. Seems to have come along much better after working out over the summer. Hits 2 free throws there. We know he can shoot.
And he can score. I mean, he not only can shoot, but he can get inside and he can score in a number of different ways, as Kentucky found out in about the first 20 minutes of the half last year when he put about 21 on them in the first half.
Inside, good hands that time. Stuart Gemmel got that one to go. Whistle away from the ball. Richardson was fighting for position inside and was fouled. Richardson at the line. He was one of the guys who struggled on Tuesday from the free throw line. Much better that time as he hits the first of the 1-1. And hits both. Indiana now a 40-point lead against Melbourne. Turner nearly steals.
See the effort Rob Turner's playing with right there. That's all coach would ask. He's every day come to practice and every game come out and give me that effort. That's all I want, because otherwise he's so good athletically. Good things are going to happen.
Richardson misses but follows.
At least he went back after it and got it. He didn't hang his head after missing the dunk.
Only 10 seconds left. Indiana will come away with a big win. And Lewis on the foul. Second foul on Lewis. There's the Indiana bench. A smile from Luke Recker. Hey, Pat Knight doesn't look much older than the players on the team, even though he's one of the coaches. 25 points. Recker made all his free throws. Guide spin move. Turner. Yes! Dunk. That's, I believe, his 360 at the horn. Pretty impressive by Indiana. 109-67. And a smile to Rob Turner's face after that play just beats the buzzer. And the teams congratulate each other.
I don't know about you, Laz. I never needed to count that high when I was on the basketball floor. 360.
We couldn't stay up that long. Let's take a look at that last play. I'll tell you, it came just before their horn. Guyton bringing it up quickly.
You can see Rob Turner. He had it all set up. Spins right around.
It's a 180. That was a 180, not a 360. You could have done that one. And a smile to Turner's face. And a lot of smiling fans here as Indiana has come with their first game, 109-67. The victory. You're watching Big Ten basketball from ESPN+.
Dodge Ram was the first and is still the only full-size pickup to be ranked most appealing by J.D. Power & Associates.
Indiana scored 109 points here at Assembly Hall. Pretty exciting. And a lot of it, though, had to be led by the defense. I think the thing that impressed me the most was the defensive pressure, the amount of turnovers they forced. Good to see.
And the effort. I think that's what will probably make Coach happiest of all is just the effort. The guys out there diving on the basketball floor, taking charges, getting down on the floor, wanting to win. I mean, that when we talk about toughness that this team needs, I mean, doing whatever it takes to win a basketball game. You aren't always going to win by 20 points. You're going to have to grind it out, and that's the type of things that this team needs to learn, and I thought they did an excellent job out there. Against a team that's not a great team, but just to see them doing those type of things, it's only going to carry over and make them a better basketball team.
You know, the other thing I saw out here was it looked like these guys were having some fun, and I think it's been a while since we've seen a team play like that.
Yeah, I think so too. When you're out there and you really forget about doing anything other than just playing and doing what needs to be done. I mean, at the end, Rob Turner started making great plays, and that's when he played the hardest that he played all day. So it kind of goes hand in hand, and I thought we saw a lot of good things from a young Indiana basketball team out there today.
You know, a lot of young guys think come in here, it's going to take them a while to adjust, but guys play so much basketball in the various tournaments, and these guys just seem to be easier to make that transition sometimes.
Well, and really, I mean, they make a big deal out of it, but it's real basic. I mean, as far as being in the right positions, getting the ball where it needs to be, taking care of the basketball. You know, if you can do those three things, you can play a lot of minutes at Indiana. You know, for instance, Dane Fife today did a nice job. He was in position defensively. He played good position defense when his man had the basketball. He didn't turn the ball over a lot. And those type of things are going to get you playing time at Indiana.
Let's take a look now at the leading scorers in today's game. For Melbourne, Howard did a nice job with 20. Indiana, some pretty good balance scoring.
You can see Haston. The coaches said he struggled a little bit in practice. He really did a nice job just staying out of the way, and good scoring.
All right.